Yeah, well, I'm going to start this
Don't
out.
trash my Cardinals too much while I'm down the hall, too.
I'm not. I'm trashing my Kansas City Royals. It's like this.
Yeah.
If we want to be last, let's be last.
Right.
We finally caught Baltimore
Yeah.
yesterday, and then last night we win and they lose, and they back ahead of us again. Now, come on. If we're going to throw the season, let's go ahead and do it and lose every game.
So you're essentially saying if we're going to tank, let us tank.
Might as well.
You don't want to use the term, but you might as well.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, send some rookies out there to pitch or something. Some guys who, I know they're looking at their career and earnings and stuff like that. Get some people. I mean, heck, send me to Kansas City. Let me play for a while for I don't know, $750,000. I can go up there and strike out.
That's exactly right. if that's what you want me to do, you pay me. Say, hey, watch every pitch. I'll watch every pitch.
That's it. If
just tell me.
Throw, then I'm gonna walk.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I know what you're saying, because if you know that you're not in contention, why would you not see what you have in your young players? Why don't you let them go out there, get it under their belt, have them learn the game a little bit more on this level, because some people say that it is quite a jump from the minors if you're not prepared to the majors. That's why some of them flop. That's why some of them take 7-8 years in the minors before they're ready for their major league debut. So it's not, it's not just easy to walk out there and hit a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. They're all throwing that these days. Half the time, if you aren't throwing that, they're about ready to send you down.
Yeah, and Hunter, you know as well as I do, Baltimore and Kansas City probably going to get to 50 losses before we hit July the 4th. So.
Oh yeah, if Baltimore's got 6 games in the next 10 days, well, they're more than likely going to lose half of them. So there's another 3 losses there. So they'll be 3 away from 50.
And I think Kansas City went like 2-8 over their last 10, maybe. If we've done that.
See, I don't know. I guess, do these teams just not have good farm systems?
No, we got good farm system. We picked up Bobby Witt, which is going to take him time to come through the system and all. But when you're, to me, your quarterback, Perez, is out for us for the whole year, and he'll be back next year. I mean, you're switching up. And then we had so many guys that Kansas City cannot afford to be on the same payroll with everybody else, knowing that there was no way we was keeping Hosmer, no way we was keeping Kane. I mean, somebody else is going to give them a lot of money. We gave a lot of money to Gordon.
Well, that's good, for Kansas City, but in Baltimore's case, Baltimore's been the laughing joke, besides the Miami Marlins, has been a laughing joke. Are they still Miami or are they Florida Marlins? No, they're Miami now. Yes. They used to be the Florida Marlins. Yes. That's right. I don't know why I had a brain fart right there, but I did. But you see what I'm getting at. It's been like Miami and Baltimore the past 2 to 3, maybe even longer for Baltimore. They just can't seem to get it done. There was a time, short period, Baltimore was fighting with New York for that American League East right there. It was very short, and then all of a sudden Baltimore went back to what they used to be, in the tank.
Yeah.
And they just can't seem to climb out. I know they've gotten rid of their manager, and it looks like you would think they would clean house of players. You'd think they'd clean house and try and bring in young studs, maybe even sign it, maybe even make some trades. They haven't. And I don't know if it's because they've just accepted what they are right now and say, well, maybe we can get through another draft. Maybe we can get that one guy that's coming out. If he doesn't, as we've seen happen, go play overseas. That's going to be a new thing.
Yeah.
But even then, when you draft him, you're not playing him right now. He's going to be in your minor league system for maybe 3 or 4 years, depending on how good he is. He might only be there for a short amount of time. I don't know. It's just the Orioles and the Marlins, even though the Marlins are doing a little bit better right now than the Orioles, do you understand what they're trying to do up there in Baltimore, or are they just treading water right now, trying to at least stay relevant?
Well, Baltimore's got a good fan base.
Yes.
I know people that's around here that are Baltimore Orioles fans.
I know people from my area are big Baltimore Orioles fans because that's where Hunter Harvey was drafted. He graduated the year before me at Bandy's. So I know a lot of them are pulling for him. Unfortunately, injuries have just, they've taken a toll on his minor league progression. But you're right. They're Orioles fans, and they cannot be happy with how little success the team has had for a long time. Like, this is going on for an extended amount of years. It's not just, oh, we had a down year last year. It's like, you've never seen the light to go up. You've just stayed at the bottom for about 4 or 5 years now.
Well, I know a friend of mine, Rick Mitchem, me and him get into it all the time because we're both on the bottom. He's a Baltimore fan. I'm Kansas City.
Yeah.
And we both sat there, well, yeah, so he's going to get to 50 losses first.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, our bet is on that.
Yeah, I was saying, it's not a race to 50 wins. It's a race to 50 losses. And whew.
But anyway, Kansas City 8-23 on the road, so that's a big thing with us. We can not even play at home 12-20.
Baltimore 8-23 at home.
Yeah,
they can't even win at home. So I'll just go over quick standings here for the East. Speaking of Baltimore, American League East is led by the Yankees 39-23, followed up by the Tampa Bay Rays 38-23, the Boston Red Sox 33-30. The Toronto Blue Jays 23-40, and the Baltimore Orioles 19-44.
Thinking of that division, Boston's bad start at the year has kept them. I think they might have closed within 5, maybe at one time, maybe 4.
Yes.
But 33-30 on the year, they've rebounded. But I mean, are they too far back? Are there 2 teams ahead of them? And Tampa Bay, I mean, name me some stars on that team for them to only be a half a game back of the Yankees.
Well, if you're going to say name stars compared to what the Yankees have, I'll never be able to, because the Yankees are star-studded. You know, they win through payments. That's what everybody said. They bought every championship they've got. So I can't really give you big star names, but the Yankees have been playing very well, even without Aaron Judge for an extended period of time. I know he was on the IR. Young Carlos Stanton was on the IR, so their 2 big slug hitters have been hurt. They've just played really well. Here's the thing, though, Terry, for as successful as the Tampa Bay Rays are, I threw a slight jab at them. It wasn't a jab. It was more me of making a joke of the situation while we were at the state championship game last Saturday. I said there are more people here than at a Tampa Bay Rays game.
Well,
did you see the picture that went around and the stat? They pulled only 5,000 people into one game.
Miami's the same way.
I don't like. Is there just too much to do in the area that no one wants to go and watch a baseball game? Because I understand with the Marlins, a lot of people want to go and see winning baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays are in second in the East, 38-23. They're decent at home. They're over 500 at home. Definitely good on the road. You only pull 5,000 fans.
You have to think of it like this: do I want to go to the beach?
Yeah.
And lay out on the beach, or do I want to go inside either a dome or they got an open face dome?
They have a dome.
But, and sit in 98-degree weather and watch a baseball game.
Yeah, but most of the time they keep the dome closed, so it's comfortable in there. It's comfortable. But then you also got to think that stadium probably is not like how Mercedes-Benz Stadium does it. They pride themselves on reasonably priced food as well. So I understand what you're saying. More people would want to go, pack their own lunch, and go to the beach, go and play, have a good time, than go to the baseball game and pay all that money. I saw somebody said I wouldn't be surprised if, because, Charlotte is up for, they've been in talks about a possible major league expansion team. Well, I don't know if they'll do an expansion team or if they would just pull Tampa Bay out and say, you're now the Charlotte Rays, and come down here and play in BB&T.
Would they be successful in Charlotte?
If they they can get 5,000 people easily. That's what the Knights will pull for a AAA game, and they're a successful ball team. They can still stay in the AL American League East because it's on the East Coast. I think it's a perfect idea. Let's look at the standings in the Central for the American League. The Twins lead at 42-20,
running away,
followed by the Indians 32-31. Then the Chicago White Sox 29-33. The Detroit Tigers 23-37, and your Kansas City Royals round that up 20-43. So it looks like that's the Twins' division to lose.
It is. I mean, they got out to a great start, and they keep increasing. I mean, they might not increase it by much, but every weekend that we come in here, they was up by 7. Next week, they're up by 8. I mean, about a game a week, they keep expanding.
My team to win it all, but I'm not certain about that anymore. The Houston Astros lead the AL West 44-36. wins, the 21 losses. They're followed by the other team in Texas, the Texas Rangers, 32-29. Then the Oakland Athletics, 32-31. The Los Angeles Angels, 30-34, and the Seattle Mariners round that out, 27-40. And
what about Seattle? Got off.
They
to
start
a
off
good
to a hot start.
And now they're dead last.
Dead last in that division.
18 back.
Negative 63 run differential. Got to be able to score, and you got to be able to stop people from scoring too. You can't seem to do either one. Yeah. They don't have a bad amount of runs scored. They've actually tied for the most runs scored in this division. But they, like I said, you got to be able to stop them. They've let in 406 runs.
And that's the most in that division.
It is the most in that division. Most in that division, actually by a lot. Second in that division is 327, and that's by the Angels, who are second to last in front of the Mariners. Let me get to the National League East. And this is why I said I don't know if the Houston Astros will be my favorite to win it all this year. I'll get to it in a minute. We're going to start with the leader of this division, National League East, the Philadelphia Phillies, 36-27, followed by the Atlanta Braves, 34-29. That's exactly why I don't think Houston is my front runner to win anymore. It's because the Atlanta Braves signed Dallas Keuchel to a year contract, and that was one of their, I'm not going to say straight aces, but he was probably, if not their number one, their number two pitcher in Houston. And I think that's a great pickup for the Atlanta Braves because they're already a young, offensively talented squad. Acuna can get you something. Albies can get you on base. Acuna had a home run last night, and Freddie Freeman did as well. Dansby Swanson can hit the ball. So offensively, they're good. When me and Carson would talk about it, we always said they were pitching staff away. Well, what's his name? I think his name's Soroka last night that was on the mound. He's turned out to be really good. He's been spinning the ball excellently. And then this is just another piece to the other side of the ball.
He's a veteran. He's been there and he's done it.
He'll teach the young guys that are on the pitching staff, tell them, he'll show them around just for the little amount of time that he is here. But even still, I think that was a great pickup by the Braves.
I agree.
The Mets, and that was the only reason that I'm wavering on the Houston Astros pick, because he could make a difference in a game in a World Series, or really in a series in general, because I think he's a really good pitcher. Really good pitcher. The New York Mets in third in the National League East, 30-33. Washington Nationals, 28-35. And the Miami Marlins, 23-38. In the National League Central, another team that has made a splash in the market for pitchers, the Chicago Cubs lead that 35-27, and I think that they could make another run towards a World Series this year. Not going to say they'll win it after signing Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah.
Craig Kimbrell was really good, and the speculation was that the Atlanta Braves would try and get him. Well, they went a different direction. Instead of getting someone who's known for being a relief/closer, they went out and got a good starting pitcher in Dallas Keuchel. So the Cubs making the move for Craig Kimbrell.
And he will help them.
He will help them.
The only thing that bothers me about him, and we always talk this on relievers, he's one of the best, but he has a problem with when he comes in, he's either going to let people get a hit off of him or he's going to walk some. He's going to put himself in tough situations sometimes.
Yes. I think that really helps out the Cubs pitching staff. Let me see. Next, after the Cubs, the Milwaukee Brewers, 36-28, and they're in second place. They're practically even with the Cubs. They're no games back. I think it's just because they might have played one extra game so far than the Cubs have. So the Cubs lead that 35-27. Milwaukee is 36-28. St. Louis Cardinals, 31-30. That is Kevin's team. It's not bad. One over 500, and there's still a lot of baseball to be played. Still about 100 games left in the season. 30-32 is the Pittsburgh Pirates, and rounding up the National League Central, The Cincinnati Reds, 28-34.
And still have a plus on the scoring
They
side.
do. Plus 35.
And the team in front of them is a minus 73.
Mm.
And they are, how many games difference in between those? 2 games difference. But
Yes.
amazing. About
Yes.
100 runs difference in the two teams, and Cincinnati's on bottom, Pittsburgh's in front of them.
Got close games. Whew, I don't know why I'm so yawning this morning. In the West, the Los Angeles Dodgers, who some consider to possibly be the best team in baseball this year, lead the West 43-21. The Colorado Rockies follow up 33-29. San Diego Padres, I have them on my shirt this morning, 33-31. The Arizona Diamondbacks 32-32, and the San Francisco Giants. This is not precedented for the Giants, but they're in last place in the National League West, 26-36. They are 16 games behind, and they are negative 80 on run differential.
And I wonder how you think about them now. They looking to trade Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some teams that
They're looking to trade Madison
I'm not
Bumgarner.
going to.
Yeah.
And those teams that he says I'm not going to were elite teams.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
That really got me. You know, and he's like, nah, I'm not going to here and here and here. And he named about 8 teams, and some of those are like competing for division titles.
Yeah.
And that really just stood out to me. Like he said, he did not want to play for those teams.
Nah, I guess he's got a certain area in mind he wants to stay. If I'm not mistaken, I don't understand why he wouldn't. I don't understand why he wouldn't want to play for contenders, because he's won the World Series before. Do you not want to continue to build on your resume? That would really make you start looking good when they start talking about some of the great pitchers that ever come through, because he's won it multiple times. And the Giants, not only are they looking to trade Bumgarner, the manager is retiring at the end of the year. So they're going to be looking for a new manager starting next year. The Giants, and when I say this is not precedented for the Giants, it seemed like there was a saying that every year it was an even year, the Giants had a chance to win the World Series. And it's been about the past 3 years, they've slowly started to decline from what they were as high championship caliber, always in contention with the Dodgers every year to make it, if not win, to make a wild card in the West.
And you explain to me in Major League Baseball, you know, and you're young, and you, I mean, I see it all the time of how some teams, and I'm going to mention these teams like Tampa Bay, St. Louis Cardinals.
Right.
Seems like every year they're competing, and which I understand the Yankees and Boston and all them. It has lots of money. You know,
yes.
But I'm talking about these other teams who compete every year. They're never at the bottom, but they're not like a San Francisco that's at the top and then they fall to the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot explain that, because what I would say about what I've noticed with the Cardinals and with the Rays and some of those teams that don't have a whole lot of money but consistently seem to have success is they're not one of those teams who lets their young talent get away. They don't let their contract run out to where someone like the Yankees, they get in a bidding war with, and they lose their young talent to a team that's got all the money. I think the Braves did it. That's like the Braves right now. They've got a lot of young talent. What did they do? They signed Acuna early. They gave Albies his extension early. They caught him early. They saw what they had. They said, we want to keep them in-house for a long time. I think that's something that the Rays have been good at. I think that's something that especially the Cardinals have been good at. How teams have had to chop at the bit to get Yadier Molina at every chance that he was available, if he was ever available. And then what happened though with Pujols? Pujols became available, and he ended up going to Los Angeles. But the Cardinals have been able to keep their success. They got Carpenter as well. They've been able to hold on to him. They've always had good pitching.
And you know, you sit back and you go to Tampa Bay, we always thought it was Madden. Hey, man, he's the one that's got the money. But then when he left, Tampa Bay's never fell off.
They haven't.
Yeah,
and if anything, Joe Madden, after making a few picks and moves, has turned the Cubs. That's a real testament to Joe Madden. But and that's why I'm saying it doesn't quite make sense why San Francisco has dropped, because they really haven't lost any great players. You know, they still had Madison Bumgarner. They still had Buster Posey. They still had the players that they had built their core on and won championships with. So it didn't make sense that they've started to fall off, and it's not like they've gotten old. They're not old. If anything, they're just getting in their prime. So San Francisco, that's what to me is slightly an anomaly right now when it comes to what's happening in Major League Baseball. Because, like I said, there was years we would say, if it's an even year, I'm going to take the Giants to win the championship. So that is the standings in Major League Baseball as of right now. There's something we need to touch on, though, because we were unable to touch on it last Saturday. We'll touch on it now.